Simba and I are out on an overland trip this week. I am planning my route myself. I'm not following any GPX file. I will do my best in this video to explain how I do it, how I plan my trips. Simba is lying down here. Hi, Simba. We arrived at this camp spot a little earlier. I want to show you. I wonder if that has been an old fireplace or something in the house that clearly was here once. After my last video, I got this comment. It's from Utah62. Could you sometime give a bit more explanation about how you plan your routes and which apps exactly? I know that you don't want to share your routes publicly, but put them behind your Patreon account, and that you've already shown briefly in another video about, for example, Min Korta. It's an app, My Map it's also called. But perhaps you could show a bit more. This is in connection with my overlanding trip to Sweden in June with our FJ Cruiser with rooftop tents. Thanks in advance. And yes, it's correct that I share my locations and my routes with my inner circle on Patreon. There's a lot of reasons for that. Why I don't want to put them public. I won't get into that right here. Anyway, yes, I can show, because we are about to head off, so why not show it right now? It's completely right that I use my map, and I use it a lot. I'm right now at the end of that dotted road. And right now I want to go east. So I simply look at this map, and the more you play around with this map, the better you get at using it. For example, it depends on how much you zoom, how the roads look. If I just take a random place right here, like that, I've zoomed out a lot, and all the red ones are asphalt. If I zoom in a bit more, I get gray ones. Those can either be asphalt or most likely gravel roads, and those are the ones that are usually open. There's no gates or no signs. But if you zoom in even more, the gray ones from before are now thick gray ones, and there are more smaller gray ones, like this. Those smaller grey ones are gravel roads, but they are not always accessible. There might be a gate or there might be a sign. For example, if I zoom in here, that one in the middle there is a gate. You can't cross those. What I am on right now, as you saw, it was a dotted grey line. That's a forest road. Those are legal to drive, and gravel roads are legal to drive. It's strictly forbidden to go off-road. And anything smaller than that dotted road is illegal. It's considered a hiking trail. I can find one of those so you can see how they look. A hiking trail looks like that. And we can't drive those. But what I do, I find the zooming level that shows me and it also depends on, do I want to go far today, or do I want to drive the smallest roads possible I can find? But let's say I want to just go east. Then in this zoom level, I can choose one of those gray ones here. It might be a small asphalt road, but it's likely a gravel road, and it's also very likely that it goes through, so it's not stopped by any gates. And that's how I do it. Actually, once in a while I might use Google Maps, and if I have an idea of where I want my camp spot to be, I put that in Google Maps, and maybe, just maybe, and if I'm lucky, Google Maps puts in the route I had in mind, and then I can just follow Google Maps, and that's the easy way. Then I don't have to check my map constantly to see if I'm going the right direction. I also use topo maps. You can see here, this is the route I drove yesterday. Because this app can track where I'm driving, and then that way I can make my own GPX file to share with my inner circle on Patreon. Of course, it's easier to follow a GPX track than it is to make your own route as you go. There are advantages of both. I like to find my own small roads. Like when we are going out from this camp spot, there are some small roads. I've just been studying the map, of course, and I've found some small forest roads that I want to drive, and then I'll head east. But if you choose to use a pre-recorded GPX track, you must cross-reference with Min Kartor, my map, that app, because that map is the official map of Sweden. And if someone has been driving on a hiking trail because it looked like a road, then it's illegal to drive it. And you want to make sure that it is legal to drive where you are driving. Also, some might have gone in to the woods somewhere to camp, and you can't go off the roads with a motorized vehicle. You must stay on a road or a forest road, also when you are camping. We have this law in Sweden called Allemansrätten, Allemansrätten, that makes it possible for everybody to go out in nature and camp in nature wherever they want on foot. That law does not apply to motorized vehicles, and it's very important that we remember this. There are a lot of people who misunderstand this rule and just drive out in nature and camp there, it's only allowed on foot or on a bike, but not a motorcycle, not motorized vehicles, and not off-road vehicles, overlanding vehicles, no motorized vehicles. So that's also very important to remember. The reason it is so important to follow the rules is that we see a lot of pressure on the forest roads and the gravel roads here in Sweden. Overlanding is growing. The adventure motorcyclists are growing very much, and so is vanlifers. There are so many out with motorized vehicles and camping in nature, enjoying nature, and that's all fine as long as we all respect the rules, respect the landowners, and don't disturb anything. If the landowners should start to, as in general, dislike all of us, more roads will be closed, and maybe it will become illegal to drive the forest roads. That's the way it has become in Norway. That in Norway the forest roads are not legal, and that could be a consequence here in Sweden also. But let's head off. Let's see what today brings on the small roads. I've just been studying the map. I do that a lot. And I've made the plan for the first part of the day. Today we will head north from here. It is very time consuming to plan your own trips, especially if you do it like I do it now and just plan as you go. But I like that I can zoom in on the specific area that I'm in right now and see if there's anything here I want to explore more. And I also do my hikes with Simba every day, and that way I might find some places I think when we are driving from here, I want to drive here. If you are in a hurry, if you want to go far, of course it's easier to follow a pre-recorded GPX. I'm not going that far every day on this trip. On the first day I got up to about 70 kilometers, and yesterday was about 50 kilometers, so that's, you might think that's a very short distance, but I'm not on this trip to go far. If you have any more questions to all of this, please just let me know and comment below and I'll do my best to answer. I think it's time to pack up and move on. Actually, I'm excited about today. That right there wasn't part of my plan. I had looked at the map and I had zoomed to the level where all the bigger grey ones are visible only. Those I say are most likely the ones you can drive through on. Well, this is a very good example on one of those exceptions. You can't be sure unless you really zoom into the map. Had I zoomed in right here, I would have noticed the gate. The sign says private road, gate ahead. But you can't zoom in on everything, every little bit. So this is what happens. I'll turn around, find another way. Wow! Have to take a closer look at this. I can't stop smiling. this is the last camp spot of this trip, and today we will head west. I will record today's driving, but I am going to end this video here. A quick reminder that this whole trip will be available for my inner circle on Patreon as a GPX. I hope you found all of this helpful, and I hope you enjoyed following along. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.